Well, the spotlight is on matrics as they start their final exams, but it seems teachers are also facing some tough questions. A recent report shows that there's a shortage of competent maths teachers. Well, let's get some response from Mugwena Maluleke, who represents Teachers Union SADTU. Mr. Maluleke, afternoon to you, and thank you so much for joining us here on eNCA. So, as the Teacher Union SADTU, what are you doing to improve the competency of your members?
Good afternoon. What we're doing is we're conducting some teacher development courses through our Curtis Nkondo Development Institute, where we are identifying exactly what the problems are, but clearly it is that problems are historical, that the very same teachers have not had good mathematics teaching, especially at the foundation level where they were taught numeracy and so forth because of various reasons of the apartheid education system. So clearly it is that the other area that we are looking at, which we have not been able to do, is to ensure that there is a research capacity in our country, to ensure that teachers are assisted in terms of the methodology and the techniques of teaching mathematics in the 21st century, because our learners are more advanced in terms of technology. Therefore, it means the teachers must also be able to relate what they are teaching in mathematics to what is happening in our daily lives.
The Education Minister is now proposing this Math, Science and Innovation Directorate. Would this help out?
Well, we are having many directorates in the Department of Education. We believe that we need institutions now. We think that it's important that we have got a research capacity where we can then see the minister really establishing a research bank, which will then be responsible outside the department to ensure that we are able to attract highly skilled people in mathematics so that they are able to assist our teachers. Critically, it is that the directorate will not be able to roll out the teacher development courses that we need in the country, because it's non-existent in terms of the support of the teachers to understand exactly what is it that they are expected to teach, because they have not been properly trained themselves.
Research has suggested that teachers should at this stage be taking competency tests, for example, before they're admitted as teachers of maths and science. Would you support such a thing?
Well, look, the teacher colleges that we have always been demanding that they must be reopened must look at the caliber of the students that are applying. We are calling for high caliber of candidates that must be enrolled in teacher training, so that particular selection is very important, that must go on. What we have always been against is that you subject the teachers into a competency test at the end of the year when they are supposed to be marking. We found that very contradictory, because what you need to do is to take an audit and ensure that the teacher who is been allocated to teach a grade 11 or a grade 10 class is a person who has been trained in mathematics. So at least now that we are beginning to hear the department agreeing that indeed it is important to attract young people who will then be able to understand the needs of mathematics in our country is very important. But we cannot leave out the teachers who are in the system now. We need to ensure that we identify
Mr. Maluleke, wouldn't those tests help us identify those teachers who are capable and competent, and then also keep those who can't out of the system whilst they perhaps get that necessary training?
Well, at the end, when first you register, there's nothing wrong with the competency test when you register to be trained as a teacher. The problem is when the department was proposing or was beginning to want to put a policy in place that says you are teaching mathematics now, and therefore before you mark the matric examination script, you must go for a competency test. We were saying that is contradictory. Why did you allow the teacher to teach for the whole 9 months or 10 months before you even think that the teacher cannot mark? So we are saying it's important that when the teachers are trained, you build into that particular course the competencies that you want, and make sure that the assessment of those particular teachers as they're being trained is in line with what the curriculum needs and what the country needs. Don't put the teachers into a competency test because you want them to mark, because that to me is not helping the learner. It's only saying to the department, this person can be appointed as a marker, but the department is not saying this person is not able to teach mathematics.
Thanks for your time. That was Mugwena Maluleke from the South African Democratic Teachers Union. South Africa
News that moves. eNCA.com.